All right, so we've made it through most of the navigating the file system lesson. There are a few things at the end of the lesson that weren't covered in the first video, so I just want to make sure that we come back and cover those things. So far, we've talked about pwd, print working directory. We've talked about the command cd, change directory. And we have also talked about absolute file paths, relative file paths, and home directory file paths. And there's one more command. We talked about it. I used it once in the previous video, but I didn't explain it very much. And then there's another concept in the Unix terminal that is used across a bunch of different commands. That's going to be really important to know. So I want to make sure that we cover that. So the first command that I want to talk about is the ls command. And first I'm going to go ahead and just run that command as it is. And when I run this ls command, looks like I'm currently in my desktop. I'm actually going to make a change towards home. When I run this ls command, what it does is it tells me all of the files and directories that are in my current working directory, right? I can see I have my applications folder, desktop documents, downloads. I have a Dropbox set up, library, movies, music, pictures, public. A lot of these are set up by default by my operating system. And then I have a number of my own files. I have some of our materials that we develop here at Galvanize. I have some old homework and lab assignments in R, and I have all sorts of things here, right? But I can look at all of these things, look at a list of them by using the ls command. And ls is indeed short for list. So if at any point you're not totally sure what you have going on, you can run this ls command and say, oh, I actually want to go into the public folder, right? And then now once I'm in there, looks like there's only one file. That's not what I wanted. Let's go ahead and back out one directory. Let's now move into the desktop, right? Now that I'm in the desktop, right, I can use pwd, double check. It says, yep, users, Lance Bartow desktop, right? I can use the ls file again, and I can see another list of all of the different files and all of the different folders that I have on my desktop here, right? Let's say that I want to go into this database systems directory. So I start to type, use that tab for the auto completion, then go ahead and use ls. Looks like this might have been a directory that I just set up to test things because it's got just a single directory that looks like it just mashed on some keys on the keyboard. So that's not what we want. Let's go back to the desktop. Let's go ahead and clear this up. Let's take another look. See if I've got this directory delete me. Usually I have some stuff nested in these folders, right? I see in this folder I've got a markdown file for a readme and two Python files, test and test2.py. So this ls command will list whatever files or directories are in your current working directory, which again you can always find by using pwd. Now, the last thing that I want to make sure that we cover before we end this lesson is these flags. These are called command flags, right? We have a number of Unix commands that we're going to use throughout the course, and a lot of these actually have flags. So typically, we'll continue talking about the ls command, but we're going to add a flag to it. And the flag that we're going to add is this -l, right? And what this is saying is I want to use the list function, but this time I actually want to look at some more detailed output. I want to look at the L stands for long. I want to look at a longer, more detailed output that talks about the things that are in my current working directory. I can go ahead and execute that, and I can see now I am given, right, there are 2,456 total items. That includes all of the items that are nested in directories that are in here. But I can see, right, that my applications directory has 96 items in it. My Creative Cloud Files has 128 items in it, so on and so forth, right? So we can actually see this long output gives us number of different, it gives me the last time the file was accessed or changed. It tells me, I'm not even 100% sure about what this all the way on the left is, but we're able to get just a little bit longer, more descriptive outlook of our, or not outlook, but a more descriptive list of the files and directories that are in my current directory. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. There is one other one that we can talk about here, and that is the ls/a. The A flag stands for all. And in this case, right, when I was in this folder at first, I use ls. I see maybe 35 or 40 directories somewhere in there. I don't know exactly, but there are a number of system files and directories that are not being shown when I run this. And if I wanted to actually take a look at everything that was in this directory, I could do so using the A flag. That's saying list all, list everything that's there, even if it is a hidden folder or a hidden directory or a hidden system file. So when I do that, I can see that my results, right, I have all of these extra files, these extra system files, R history, trash, some Anaconda stuff, some bash profile things, npm, that's a node package manager. I have some stuff from MySQL on here, right? I have a number of system files in here that were not a part of the original ls command, right? So what we're saying is that, you know, ls is the command and there are a number of command flags. So most of the commands have a pretty wide selection, you know, between 4 and 10 possible flags. You can also use more flags than one at a time, right? I want a long description of everything, but I also want to see everything, right? And I can see by running both of those command flags at the same time, I get both of those things in combination. So these command flags, we're not going to cover them for most of the commands in depth. There are going to be some commands throughout the materials that we use very specific flags, but in general, it's going to be on your shoulders to sort of explore some of those flags and discover which ones might be useful to you. So that's it for the end of this lesson. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. We've covered a little bit more about the ls command, and we also talked about command flags. Hope you are able to make it through the challenges, and we will see you in the next lesson.